You will never break this cycle with your situationship without these three things. Now, a situationship is always tough because so many clients will say, this isn't even a full-on relationship, so why is it hard to get out of or break or get over? And the reality is a situationship is filled with uncertainty, it's filled with anxiety, which can also feel like excitement, and there's never a core sense of safety, so your brain is always on edge, making it really difficult to accept this isn't going to work, this person isn't achievable, this isn't healthy, etc. And logically, you will know that. This isn't going anywhere, this is wasting my time, this is wasting my energy, everyone wants to scream at me. But when this person reaches out, or when you see them, or maybe you work with them, whatever the situation is, you tumble back in. You tumble back in and you do feel relief. And it does give you something you don't have when they're not in your life. However, this cycle will get exhausting. It will become something that eventually you need to. It's not an if, it's a when. But without these three things, you will just stay stuck. Number one, you are stuck in the cycle of needing proof that they care. The breadcrumbs, the bare minimum from this person feels wonderful because ultimately the bar is pretty low usually in a situationship. There isn't commitment, there isn't a core sense of safety. It never feels secure. But if you were honest with yourself, those breadcrumbs do feel amazing. And when they do reach out, when they do give you that breadcrumb, when they do the bare minimum, it floods you with, well, then they must care. They must like me. And that's doing something for your self-esteem that realistically, we shouldn't be leaving in this person's hands. And if we leave it in their hands, then you are constantly going to rely on their validation. And as humans, we all need validation. So if you only need it or only want it from this person because you haven't changed that, then this person's sticking around and you're staying in this cycle. Number two, you can't let go of hope. That if circumstances were different, if they were different, if you were different, if this was different, it would be different. Now, I get hope. When you are in an uncertain situation, hope is usually the life raft that keeps you going. It gives you some semblance of security. It gives you some semblance of calm in the storm. And it allows you to think positively, which is nice generally. But when we are in a situationship cycle that is very unhealthy, hope isn't tangible. I can hope I'm going to be a unicorn tomorrow, but it's probably not going to happen. I can hope for world peace tomorrow. Hopefully it does, but it's probably not going to happen. There are so many things that we can plow our hope into and give our all to. But when it's out of our control what we get back, we're wasting time and we're wasting energy. To let go of hope is painful because it's to accept the facts. And ultimately, to hold on to hope is to avoid accepting those facts, which keeps you in this dynamic. But at some point, your mental health, physical health, emotional health needs to come first. And that means letting go of hope and knowing that you shouldn't have to hope. Somebody should be giving you what you need without you needing to do that and rely on potential. Number three, your identity is intertwined with this relationship. Your emotional world revolves around this person. Their mood, whether they're speaking to you, whether they're not speaking to you, their body language, their tone of voice, you have become hypervigilant. So leaving this is losing part of your emotional world because your emotional world, it should, but doesn't, now revolve around you. It revolves around them. So that feels like part of your emotional world collapsing when you're coming out of this, which is why it feels so intense. It's not necessarily because you're madly in love with them. It's because fundamentally there is a loss here that the brain doesn't know how to fix. We need to re-establish your emotional world, your core needs, and actually allow you to build the psychological and emotional strength and clarity to say, this isn't right for me. I'm going to focus on healing. I now have a map to move me from A to Z, and that's going to rebuild my emotional world, not somebody who is inconsistent.